Hello everybody and welcome back to Mr. Miller's Art Room. Today we are going to be learning how to draw various different dinosaurs utilizing basic shapes. Basic geometric shapes are the starting point for most drawings. We utilize lines in order to make these basic shapes, and if we combine the shapes together in a particular way on a piece of paper, our eyes begin to see things that are like an illusion. So, for instance, there's no dinosaur here. And let's think about what kind of dinosaur we might want to draw. Now, over on this side, I added a triangle for the tail. I needed this tail to be about the length of my fingers right there. Yours might be a little bit longer or smaller. But the next thing I'm going to need to do is draw the body. For the body, I'm going to want to use an oval. And I'm going to show you a special way to connect his neck to his body as well. So I'm going to start by drawing an oval like this, right here. Not too big, not too small. It's touching the tail, or it might touch the head, but that's okay. Now, the shape that we're going to use for making the neck of the dinosaur, of the Tyrannosaurus Rex, is fairly simple. It's not even a real shape that has a name. What we want to do is go to the very top corner of this rectangle, and we're going to draw a curved line down to the oval. Then we're going to go a little bit lower, not on this corner, but a little bit lower on the jaw, and draw a curved line down. So now it looks like the Tyrannosaurus Rex has a neck. For the legs, it's pretty simple stuff. For the legs, we're going to need to draw 3 rectangles. Let me show you. There's the 2 big parts of the legs. We draw 1, 2, and then 3 rectangles. Yours don't have to look exactly like mine, but this is how you want to arrange it. Now, if we want to give the idea that there's a leg on the other side, what we're going to do is draw something similar. Now, if you haven't watched my video about overlapping shapes, I encourage you to go ahead and check it out in my video section. However, we're going to use some of those ideas to draw this next leg back here. Now, the thing is, we don't need to draw the entire leg. What we can do is we can draw a little bit of this rectangle and stop when it touches the edges of those. We can draw a little bit of this rectangle and it can be slightly smaller. And we can draw a little bit of this rectangle. Now watch how I stop when I touch the line of another shape. I come over here and I come down and I stop when I touch the line of the other shape. This gives us the illusion that there's a leg back there by stopping our lines when it touches the other shape. Now, the very next step is going to be the arms. The Tyrannosaurus Rex famously has 2 very small arms with 3 claws on each hand. Now, we don't have to go into a great big deal of detail and shapes. It's actually fairly simple. On this side, what we're going to do is draw 2 curved lines next to each other. Then we're going to connect these 2 lines by 2 claws. I'm going to do the next one right here and here. See these 2 curved lines? They'll be connected by 2 claws, just like that. And of course, you can add all kinds of details like an eyeball using an almond shape. You can have him smiling. We can add some details like little teeth. He needs to be able to breathe, so we can add a nose. Maybe your dinosaur has slot eyes, and maybe your dinosaur has scales. Or, if you want to get super fancy about it and very up-to-date scientifically, maybe your dinosaur has feathers. So we'll do some plumes of feathers. Mr. Miller, they look like spikes. Okay, well, if you want to imagine that they're spikes, you can imagine that they're spikes. But I see them as feathers. We can add these all the way down. Mr. Monocle got to choose the first dinosaur, so I want to choose the second dinosaur. Now, my favorite dinosaur is the Triceratops. A Triceratops? What, pray tell, is a Triceratops? A Triceratops is actually really easy to remember. The word tri means three. It refers to the three horns on a Triceratops. They were herbivores, which means they eat plants, and they had a big crest on their head and three horns to protect themselves from the likes of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So what we're going to do in order to draw a Triceratops is I want to start with the head and the tail again. Now the difference between the T-Rex and the Triceratops is that the Triceratops walks on all fours. So he's going to be a little bit lower than the Tyrannosaurus Rex. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the head. Now the head is going to use a triangle and a rectangle because the Triceratops actually has a beak as well. So what I'm going to do is draw a diagonal rectangle. Then I'm going to draw a triangle that points down just a little bit. And that is the Triceratops beak. Now the Triceratops has a horn on his nose and his forehead. There's two horns on the forehead, one horn on the nose. So what shape should I use, Mr. Monocle, for the horns?
Well, I think it's plainly obvious that you should use a triangle. Oh, my jaw.
Yes, a triangle. So what we're going to do is add a triangle here, a triangle here, and to give the illusion that there's another triangle on the other side, I'll do a triangle there. Now, the next part is a little bit strange. The Triceratops has a crest on his head. It helps protect his neck. So, in order to draw that crest, what I'm going to do is start down here where the triangle meets the rectangle edge. I'm going to draw a big loop that comes around and then touches this corner of the rectangle. The next thing I'm going to do is add some spikes on the edge using triangles. Don't want too many, but you don't want too few of that crest. The next step is to draw the tail. Now, once again, I want it to be about that long. I don't want it to be, too long or too short, but if yours doesn't look exactly like mine, that's okay. I'm going to use a triangle to do that. Now for the body, I like the use of an oval. So I'm going to do an oval. Now I'm going to touch that triangle and move it down here. If you start to draw your shape and you wind up touching a shape, feel free to stop, pick up your pencil, put it back down, and go back around. For the neck, it's pretty simple stuff. Just like we did with the T-Rex before, all we're going to do is draw a line to, and it's a very tiny line. We're going to draw a line to the oval, and then not directly at the jaw, but a little bit lower than the jaw, draw a line to the oval right here. Now for the Triceratops legs, we're going to need 4 rectangles. He's kind of got shorter legs, so I'm going to do a rectangle here, and a rectangle here, a rectangle here, and a rectangle here. Then for his toes, we can add 1, 2, 3 claws, 1, 2, 3 claws, 1, 2, 3 claws,
1, 2, 3 claws.
And then you're all done. We can just add some details like the eye, a smiley face. Maybe he's eating a leaf like this. Yum, yum, yum. Maybe he's got some scales. And you can also do the background. These are just 2 ways that you can utilize basic shapes in order to create dinosaurs. Feel free to color these the way that you like, and have a good day.